Alright gang, welcome back to our Pioneer Challenge on Alone in the World. You join me. As you can see, I'm actively in the process of getting the tarp off. We had to buy a little fork here on the front to get the tarp off. It just was not going to come off otherwise. So we had to buy that, which is fine. I mean, we'll utilize it again here, I'm sure, at some point, especially when we fill this back up again. I'm sure it'll be utilized again. So just trying to take it off directly with... Uh-oh, we're getting stuck here. Uh-oh. We stuck. Well, this is a problem. We might have to get the other tractor in here and try to get some of this off here before we get out of here. I've got myself stuck. But anyway, what I was trying to say is we'll have to utilize it again whenever the next time we get this, loaded up with silage. We're going to have to utilize it again then anyway, so... it's just going to be stuck for right now until I'm able to get some of this out of here. Now, if I was trying to utilize this directly to just take the silage out of there, the tarp would not go all the way back. I have to have some kind of bucket of some sort to get it to work. So that is the reason for this. Now, this is going to be a lot of carting back and forth here, gang. There's not going to be a whole lot really I can do. I'm just going to have to drive these back and forth from the sell point and back here. Luckily this does hold a lot, so hopefully it doesn't take too many trips, but this is going to be a back and forth for quite a while here. Now, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go to sell this at. Let's figure that out while we're on our way there. LaGrange or Magson? I guess we go to LaGrange, right? Why not? A couple other notes real quick. I'm not going to harp on this for very long, but my first real negative comment, I guess, on one of my videos happened recently, and it was on this series, but I think the problem was that the individual, Scott of some sort, was confused, was seeing my members only, so I have a few members too, to be specific, who get early access to all of my videos, and he was under the impression that he can't watch any of my videos, but that's not the case. So if you happen to be watching it still, I don't think you are. I think you subscribed. You were so mad about it, you unsubscribed immediately, which is unfortunate, but just a misunderstanding there. But you have full access to watch these videos anytime you want. It's completely free as long as you follow the schedule. But if you want to watch them before the schedule comes out, that's where the member perk comes into play. So just want to clarify there really quick, just in case you happen to be watching this and didn't see my reply to you, but I tried to explain it a little bit better there. But let's move on from that. $4,252 just from one load. So this is going to be good. This is going to be a good moneymaker for us. This is desperately needed. We've got a lot of things we want to accomplish here in a really relatively a short period of time before FS25 comes out. So this is definitely going to help us, especially in these slow months when we're waiting on things to be ready to harvest. Now, we do have to get a fertilizer spreader. So where we mowed that grass that we put the silage in, that needs to be fertilized the second application. We can also fertilize this tiny little section here a second time, where we should be able to. The rest of it we don't have to worry about because it was grass before, so it already had that first application of fertilizer, and then our drill obviously put down the second application. So we don't have to worry about it there. We still have to worry about these fields. We haven't done anything with these fields, so maybe do the small field today, but probably not the big field. We'll probably save that for another day. Just because I don't think we're going to have the time. But we'll see. You never know. Could be wrong. We might be able to do part of both. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Doing this video right before I'm getting ready to be out of town for the weekend, as I've mentioned before, so it may be a little bit of a shorter video as well, just in comparison to what we're normally used to. Probably around the 20 to 30 minute range for this one, honestly. Just because I really don't have a whole lot of time before I have to scoot out of town here, so. But we're going to get a lot accomplished today, even though it's going to be probably a little bit of a shorter episode than normal. It'll probably be, like I said, 30 minutes instead of 30 to 45 to an hour. We are still going to get a lot accomplished. We're going to get all this silage sold, and then we're going to see where we're at money-wise, and we're probably going to purchase a few other things that we need. Obviously, the fertilizer spreader that I've already previously mentioned. We need to purchase some other things for the grapevines, right? We don't really have anything for that except for the fertilizer spreader. So we need to, or sprayer rather. So we need to get some of that stuff. We need to get the mower, all that good stuff that is required for the grapes. And then there's some other things we really need to buy and accomplish, right? As a matter of fact, let's look and see what's in the used market here. Ooh, now that is a nice John Deere right there. 120 horsepower. We can get it up to 120 horsepower is what we can get it up to. That is a nice John Deere. We might be, if we can get there. I don't know if we're going to get there or not. I actually don't think we will. But if we were to get there, that's a pretty nice one. Now the silage, it shouldn't really fluctuate all that much. No, it doesn't. I mean, right now it's pretty good. 327. It's almost as good as it could possibly be. So, but it is technically on the mark of that. This is technically raising. It'll get higher as we carry along. But we can mow more grass. That right? We have a plethora of grass. That is one thing we have plenty of is grass. So, I'm not as concerned with losing around $20-ish every 1,000 liters there. Now, eventually, as we do with a lot of the different series, right, I'm going to try to probably implement some kind of BGA of some sort for the silage. It just makes the most sense. You make a lot of money off of that, and that'll really help us with our quest here to try to complete all of these different stages and these objectives, right? There's a lot to do. There really is. So if we can get ourselves a little bit of an advantage by making a little bit of extra money than just selling the silage outright directly, we're going to take that. And we're full again already. Oh boy. We might be getting stuck here. You guys warned me about getting stuck with this small tractor, and we're pretty much almost there. We're having some issues here, so we're gonna have to be very careful of that as we move forward here. But yeah, you know, we'll carry on. So I think the best way to go about this, gang, since we had to do so many of these trips, is to put a time lapse in. So let's get all this silage sold. We'll see where we're left at as far as our money goes, and then we'll make our decision from there. Obviously, we'll buy the fertilizer spreader pretty much immediately after that, so we don't have to worry about it. And then we'll make a decision on everything else we want to buy, whether it's the grape stuff, which won't be needed for a few months, to be fair, or if we think of something else. Maybe we put down some kind of production for wood. We've got a lot of wood. That would help us make a lot more money as well, right? So we'll think about it. We'll see where we get to as money-wise, and then make our decision from there. Well, it was only a matter of time before we got stuck, gang, and we are stuck. Now, another note, I probably put a little text blurb at the very beginning. I noticed when I was doing the time-lapse that the in-game volume, for whatever reason, was not working in OBS. I believe I fixed it, so hopefully you're hearing in-game volume now. I apologize early on if there was no in-game volume there for the beginning intro there before we went into that time-lapse, so I apologize, but hopefully it is fixed now. That is a pretty big section there that I'm kind of stuck on, isn't it? I don't know if that was enough of a push to move it or not. Yep, it was. But I'm right back on it, stuck again. Okay, that worked. So I won't put another time-lapse in because we put a pretty long time-lapse there, and there's probably another 4 or 5 trips there. Maybe 6, but I'll just do a little jump cut here. I'll get the rest of these down there. We're at 34,000, so I would think we're going to be close to 50,000, which is great. That is, I mean, that's awesome. Truly is. While we're at it, we won't be able to buy that tractor today, obviously, but, well, maybe I'll sell some trees off camera, and maybe I buy that off camera, and then the next episode we have it. Maybe that's what I end up doing, but you get what I mean. Well, we probably won't buy it on camera. I'm going to put it that way. We probably will not buy it on camera. It would be nice to have that too, though. I'm doing a lot of wishful thinking here, and we don't really have the money for it, right? We need to be focusing on other things, not just buying big equipment. Although it would definitely help us in the long run. It definitely would. So let's just do jump cut here. I'll get all of it sold. I'll jump cut back once we're on the last load being sold. Well, this is it, gang. This is the last bit, and I said we were going to be under 50,000, and then we were going to definitely plateau the $60,000 range. We're at 59,689 at current. And it's not going to be a full load, but we're going to have at least probably about 55, 56% to take up there with us. So we're making a lot of money off of that. And that, I mean, we've got grass, we got a plethora, we got grass everywhere, right? So that's really, really good for us. Now, what are we going to do with this money? Well, I've got some ideas. I don't know if they're all going to come to fruition today. They actually probably will not come to fruition today. I can almost guarantee you that. Some of them will, though. Like I mentioned, we're going to buy a fertilizer spreader. Now, we're not doing any lime with the rules here, where I've got the lime turned off. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Lime required off, right? We've got that turned off, so we don't have to worry about lime. Now, we utilize this same spreader in the Mazzo series. I think I'm going to utilize it here too. It's inexpensive. It's got a great width. It saves us time. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. But I may change my mind once I get in there and look around a little bit. But if those of you who watch my channel frequently and watch that series, you'll know which one I'm talking about. It's like a 32 or 35 meter width, something like that. I don't know. It's a lot. That's all I know. It's a lot. So we definitely are going to plateau that. So we could buy this tractor if we wanted to. But I think we probably shouldn't, because we've got a harvester we have to pay for here in the near future, right? Now, we could buy the cheap harvester, right? The $14,000 one I found, and that might be the one we end up going with, but I don't really want to spend all of our money just to have a tractor that's nice, a nice big tractor like that. Well, we don't necessarily need it. This is the one I'm talking about. It's only $3,000. It doesn't hold that much. That's the big problem with it, but 36 meter width. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. So it's almost like a no-brainer for us to go with that one, right? So, 18 meter width. I'm just double-checking everything else to make sure. This one you can do a manure with. We've utilized that in our campaign playthrough early on Elm Creek. 20 meter width. That's not bad, but it's a lot more. Yeah, I'm hard-pressed not to buy that one, gang. It's the best deal for us out there. Again, does not hold that much, but the width is just so... It's so good that there's really no reason not to buy that. So let's buy a bag of fertilizer. I don't know if we're going to need... Well, I mean, eventually we're going to need two, but... I'm going to drop this off right here for now, and then I'll come back and pick it up here off camera here in a little bit. I just want to jump straight into the fertilizer and get fertilizing. I don't want to drive all the way back there and then come all the way back down here with you and fill it up. Now, I probably won't put a time lapse in here because we just did a nice time. Well, it wasn't that long in the long run because I found out about the OBS not utilizing the in-game sound, right? So that was a bit of an issue. But it was still decent. It was still probably 2.5, 3 minute long time lapse of me just going back and forth of picking up silage and going and selling it. So let's get up here and let's get these fields fertilized for the second application. Now our tractor is going to need a service and some gas here relatively soon. We're okay for a little bit longer, but it's gonna be here before we know it. So I mean, just look at that. That's crazy. I mean, I'm pretty much hitting the whole thing right now without even, I mean, just one pass pretty much. I'm doing it all. And we might as well hit this little section here too. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, that field's good enough. There's some, you know, little tiny spots, little splotches here and there, but I'm not that concerned with those splotches, honestly. It's gonna be hard for me to see this. Oh, actually, you know what? I can't do it yet. It hasn't been germinated yet. Whoops! We just wasted a little bit of fertilizer. That was a big mistake on my part. Whoops! I had thought it was gonna be germinated because I'm so used to, you know, not doing multiple days per month. Got to get back in that groove of understanding and realizing that there's multiple days in this one, so don't need to do it until the next episode, but at least we have it for now, right? And it didn't cost us that much. So we still have $57,000 to play with. Well, learn how to back in there, Z. Come on, brother. So we still have $57,000 to play with here. We need to jump on Jester here and ride him around for a few seconds. We need to take a look at everything else for Jester as well. Let's see. Yeah, so his health is going up now, and that's because we're keeping him clean and we're riding him daily, as you're supposed to do, and his capacity of food has gone up. He really needs more food, honestly. We probably should buy him another bag, because we're not going to have oat for a while. So, we probably should buy him another bag, but... So, for these fields, we've got to do a few other things. Oh, I did cut down that one tree over there. I didn't show that to you, but I will here in a second. So we've got to cut down that tree, right? And realistically, we got to cut down this little tiny tree right here as well, just so we can actually get this field going. We need to cultivate this field, and then we can actually put something in the ground here. This field up here, this big field up here, I truly think I'm going to cut this in half. It's going to be an awkward shape no matter what we do, but it is just astronomical. If we go to a bird's eye view here, I mean, you can see just truly how big this field is. So if we cut it in half, it's still going to be a big field, but it's going to be a lot more reasonable for us to manage, right? So I think I'm going to do that. At least that's my current idea on that. Obviously, it could change again, but that's my current idea. We've got this room up here. I could put a little tiny field up there, root crops or something, but I think I'm going to save that and utilize it for some other production of some sort. We've got chickens here, right, which we're going to have to get soon, but I don't want to spend the money on feed for chickens because we're going to have the feed for chickens whenever our actual fields are ready to harvest. We just happen to have to start with Jester, so that's the reason why we are going to have to buy the food for him until that time period. Now, we need to probably get some kind of tedder so we can get Jester some hay, right? He needs a little bit of hay. Now, he doesn't need a ton, but he needs some. So while we're kind of just galloping here, let's take a look at tedders here. I don't think I have that many DLC, well, Mod Hub tedders downloaded, honestly. I've got a few. like this would probably be sufficient for us. 4.5 meters. I don't think we're going to need that much. That's really the only time we're going to be doing hay is for Jester here. This one would be even better, 2,500 or 1,300. So something like that I think would be sufficient. So that's probably what we'll end up buying today to help Jester out, right? We can throw some hay in there. He doesn't need much, but he does need some. So since we, you know, are having to buy the bags of oat for now, if we're able to throw a little bit of hay in there that we can, you know, do for free, and that helps build his health up even more, that's going to be better off for us in the long run, right? So now the other thing we could do is mow and then put more silage back into the pit here. As much as I like that idea, because it's going to make us a lot of money, because you just saw how much money we made, I think I'm going to wait at least an episode before we do that again. Alright, his daily writing's done. I need to clean him again. Where'd he go? Where did he go? There he is. Looks like he's clean now. Good. Yep. So his fitness is moving up, his health's moving up, puberty's moving up, all that stuff. So he needs 38% hay. So if we can get some hay put into there for now, I think we're going to be in a lot better shape. So, given that understanding, let's buy a tedder. Now, which one are we going to buy? This one probably makes the most sense. It's the cheapest one. It's 1.7 meters. It's only $1,300. No, I'm just going to stick with yellow, even though I don't like blue and yellow from where I live. But that's we'll gloss over that. As somebody who lives in Ohio, we don't like blue and yellow. Let me head down to the shop. I'll pick that up. We'll come up here and we'll mow a little section. It's not going to be a big, massive section. We're just going to mow a small section for today. Enough to get the tedder out and get some of that hay going. And then we can pick it up with our loading wagon, which is down here anyway. And then we can put it in the trough there for Jester and hopefully get his health even higher here. So I think I'm just going to mow right here, gang. We're just going to get this entry area here mowed up near the grapes. I think this should be sufficient. This should be plenty, I would think. Now, when we ted this, it's going to be a mess, right? It's not going to be in a nice little path like this, which is where having a windrower would come in nicely here. But I mean, it's not going to be that big, so I'm just going to run over it with the loading wagon. And we'll just pick it up and kind of go from there. We shouldn't need that much right now. I mean, eventually we're going to start needing a lot more. Well, I don't know if necessarily that's the correct statement. We're not probably going to need a lot more, but eventually we're going to want to have a lot more, so then we can just, take it over there and drop it off and not have to worry about having to mow every episode or two and, throwing hay in there, if that makes any sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, what we're doing here, this should be sufficient. There should be plenty of grass, well, what will turn into hay. There should be plenty. She should not need any more than that for one horse. We should not need more than that. Might end up being too much, but we'll figure that out when the time comes, right? This little John Deere mower here is great, though. It really is. This is exactly what we needed. Eventually, we may have to upgrade, right? But for early stages like this is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted, exactly what we needed, and it gives us something John Deere on the farm. Now, I know there's been some, I don't know, the word I was going to say is not the correct word. There's been some angst, maybe, I guess, against John Deere recently, but I mean, I always grew up a John Deere guy, so. Try not to look at that actual events in real life when I'm playing this game, right? It's just a game. Alright, nice. It's all done. Turn that off. And let's get the tedder out and let's get this thing all tedded up, and then we can get the loading wagon down at the shop and give Jester some hay. And hopefully that helps, only increases his health for the next episode. I'll have to realign this. That was a terrible job there, Z. What are you doing? What a dummy. There we go. Yeah, see, it just kind of just drags it all over the place. So you would technically want a windrower here to make this cleaner and easier, but like I said, we're not really that concerned with that right now. We could buy a windrower, basically the same one as this. It's just not a tedder, it's a windrower. It looks just like this one, just a different color. We've utilized it previously. But, yeah. We'll just do what we can with the loading wagon and, you know, go from there, I guess. Eventually, it'll all be gone, because eventually we will do it, or eventually we'll put something in there, or whatever, right? And if we put something there, it's going to yell at us and say that there's something on the ground, because there's going to be this hay sitting on the ground, because it doesn't actually ever degrade, right? Which it should in real life. I hope the new one that actually happens, because I think that'd be pretty cool. It would make it a lot more difficult of a game, but I think that would be cool. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out, right? But we'll find out soon enough. As soon as this is done, we'll find out soon enough. Alright, let's get the loading wagon back up here. And, yeah, we'll get some of this picked up. Alright, well, I thought about just talking to you the whole time doing that, but I thought, yeah, you know what, it's probably better just to do a little bit of a mini time-lapse, and that's what we did. So we've got a full load here. I don't know how much it will take, how much it'll accept here. The thing I don't want to do is really put too much hay in there, because it only needs 38%, but I guess we'll find out here. Here we go. Okay, I guess he's full. So there you go. He's got, I don't know, he's probably got 50% hay in there, honestly, but hey, that's okay. It'll work. Now, one thing I have not tried, I don't suspect it will work. I think the Pioneer silo that we have there, I believe it's only going to work for actual crops. I don't think it'll work for grass, but we might as well take a look. Okay, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. It does work for hay and grass. That's really good, actually. That's really good for us. Now we know if we need to get a bunch loaded up, we can put it in there, and we can easily just fill up the wagons or the trailer whenever we get a trailer, because we're going to get one eventually, right? When we start harvesting this stuff, we're going to need a trailer. So this is not the most it's not the best way to do this, I guess is how I put it. It's not the what I'm doing right now is not the best way to do this. It's probably taking me a lot longer to do it this way, but I didn't really want to spend the money on a windrower, at least not yet. We just got this money. I've got some things I want to try to do with it, accomplish with it, some productions and things we need to put down, right, that are going to help us. And realistically, we need to get some more money loaded up anyway so we can actually pay off the loan here. Because that's the key, right? Once we pay the loan off, then, according to the rules, we are allowed to start utilizing productions that can turn this stuff into silage, right? We wouldn't necessarily need the pit anymore. We can just drop it in a production that will turn the grass into silage for us. And it'll save us a bunch of steps. Save us a lot of time, too, right? So that's kind of where I want to get to. So early on in this series, I mean, we're going to have to buy some stuff, right? And we're going to probably implement some things, but I don't think we necessarily want to spend a whole lot of money doing stuff that I guess spending money on stuff that we really don't need to spend it on early on. So that way we can just save money in the long run and we can accomplish this easier. I guess that's how I'm going to put it. And I could change my mind again. I always change my mind. You guys know that. So there is a high potential that my mind may change between what I'm telling you now and when it comes time to, muster up the money to buy something. But now, since he has full food now, Jester, I would suspect his health should go a lot higher. I don't know if it will, but it should. And it's probably going to be, just the fitness, right? Just continuing to ride him every day. That will help increase that health as well. Because health has already gone up, so we have to be doing something right. Right. I don't know if we got all of it or not, but I'm going to call that good enough for now. Hopefully we did. But if we didn't, we know how to go back there and get some more, right? We just take this bag over there and do it from there. Alright, so let's drop that off. Now, this episode might end up being a little bit longer than what I initially anticipated, but we're not going to do a whole lot of extra today. I think what we'll do today is we'll go ahead and jump into the cultivator and start cultivating this small field out. First, let's knock that tree down and let's pull the tree out. Now, I probably won't do any of that tree stuff on camera. I'll probably just pull it out of the way and then chop it down and, carry it to the selling point off camera. And the final thing we'll probably do today, I don't know if I'll show a whole lot of this cultivating on camera or not, but we're going to buy one other thing today, I think. I don't know for sure yet where I want to put it, so I kind of need to go off camera a little bit just to spend a little bit of time to figure out where I want to put it, so it's not just sitting here and it's just dead quiet. I want to at least have an idea of where I'm going to put it before I start talking to you about stuff. Probably good if I actually put the winch on the back there, huh? What a dummy. Alright, we're on our way here. Now, like I said, I'm not going to show a whole lot of this because we've done a lot of this lately. A lot. But I'm going to talk to you for a few more seconds here, and then I'll kind of probably jump cut to the last thing we're going to implement today, more than likely. We're going to put something else down. It'll probably be maybe a shed, but it might also be a production, even though I just talked about, trying to make sure we don't waste money. But there are some productions I think are going to be very useful for us. Now, a lot of the productions we currently have, right, over there, they're I mean, everything we're going to be putting in the ground for the most part is all going to be stuff for flour, right? So it's going to be stuff we can turn into flour. But there are other things we can utilize to try to help, make us some money. More specifically, I'm talking about the trees, right? We've got so many trees. So if we can find something to put down that ideally we've not utilized before, because you know I like to add new things to each of my series of something that we haven't utilized, that requires wood, we may do that. Now, it might cost us a lot of money to do so, but we might do that. Realistically, I want to do something. So we've done, right now on the Frugal Millionaire Challenge, we're doing charcoal bricks, which I love charcoal in real life, so that one's awesome. They kind of suck to sell and move around, but it's awesome. We have done, and are still doing, I guess, pallets. We've done a lot of pallet work and things of that nature. We've done barrels for honey. But one thing we haven't done that I feel like I should easily be able to find something on ModHub for is firewood. We've never done anything for firewood. So I don't know if there's a production for that or not, or if it's something I have to actually go in and chop these trees down myself. If that's the case, I don't really necessarily want to do that. It would just take so long to do. But if there's a production of some sort where I can just pull a tree into it and it'll turn it into firewood and we can sell it like bundles of firewood, that could be fun. The only thing I want to make sure is if I do that it actually is worth it. Like, I don't want it to be something where it's just, for my time-wise, it's just more beneficial for me just to go and sell them directly at the shop. Now, I might certainly still do that from time to time, but if we're putting stuff into a production, like, realistically, it should be making us, in the long run, more money than just selling the wood directly, if that makes any sense. So the first time we drill this field, since we don't have any root crops at current, and I really don't want to spend the money on the harvesting and everything else for that, it'll just be probably a generic crop that we can actually put in currently. I don't know if it'll be sorghum or whatever it is. We'll put something in here in the meantime. But eventually, my goal, like I said originally, was to have this be a root crop field because it'll be beneficial for us with Jester because he has to have some root crops. Now, he doesn't have to have a ton, but he has to have some. So I think it would be beneficial just to have a root crop field. And this would be quite a large root crop field, honestly. But we don't necessarily have to put all the root crops for Jester. We can just, do some other production with the root crops, which will make us more money, right? That's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. It's kind of where I'm thinking. So, let me go. Oh, I need to get rid of that tiny tree, too. I forgot about that tiny tree, but I can carry that tree. Let me go off camera. I probably won't finish this here today, but let me go off camera and see if I can find firewood of some sort that we can put down that's not too expensive. If it's outrageously expensive, then we're just going to have to scrap that thought and that idea for now. Maybe we come back to it a little bit later on in the series when we have a little bit more... We're not as concerned with our money, our financial situation, I should say, right? Maybe we come back to that in the future, but... That's where my head's at right now. I would like to have firewood. I think that would be a fun implementation to this series as a pioneer anyway, right? So that's what you would be doing in a pioneer status. Oops, I did not mean to turn that on a worker. That's what you would be doing in a pioneer situation when you just got here to, keep warm at night, right? It's starting to be colder months. You would need firewood to keep warm. So let me see what I can find. Alright, so I did a little research. There is something out there, but it's pretty pricey. It's 45 grand. And then about another $100 or a couple $100 for the sell point. I believe there's a sell point on this map, so I wouldn't necessarily have to put the sell point down, but still, 45 grand pretty much takes all the money that we just made off the silage. So, while I want to put that in, and it sounds like a great idea, I think I'm going to wait for just a little bit longer. And the reason why I'm going to wait for a little bit longer is I think... Probably in the next episode, we're going to chop down some more trees, and I'm sure we'll do some more silage probably in the next episode as well, or at least mow some more grass to put in the pit for silage in the next episode. So I think based off of all those factors and the understanding that it's $45,000, we'll wait to do it. But it will come relatively soon. We won't have to wait until much longer in the series. We'll do it relatively soon, but I don't really want to spend all of that money right now, all the money we just worked so hard to get right now, especially given the fact that we're going to need to get a harvester soon enough. And while the little cheap one that we found on ModHub, that is actually finally added to ModHub, is nice, realistically, we want something bigger than that. The fields we've made, I mean, we've talked about this before. They're astronomical. If we had that little thing, I mean, we probably wouldn't even get down one row before it would get full, right? These fields are huge. They're truly massive. It's going to make us a ton of money when the time comes, but to harvest them, that would be an immense task, and it would take forever. Putting a time-lapse in on that would be, if I did the whole thing, it would be by far the longest time-lapse we've ever done, so we'd have to do some jump cuts. Hell, we still might have to do jump cuts, honestly, but I think it's best that we hold off for now. I think we try to utilize some of the stuff that we currently have, like the grass on the ground, to turn into silage, selling a few more trees here and there, right? But I think that's the approach we should be taking here. Now, a couple other things to note really quick. If we look at Jester, his health has gone up. It was at 12 and now it's at 15. So we are making progress in the right direction to get him back to full health here, but it's probably going to take a while. Hopefully between now and the next episode it'll go up a lot, since he has pretty much full food now, right? But yeah, so I'll get this done, gang, and we'll leave the episode there. Again, nice and short, sweet episode. Sold some stuff, got some money, got a few new things, right? We got a tedder. It's been a good day. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, I'll catch each and every single one of you in the next episode.